Today is Monday, March 2nd, 2026, and for today's episode of the School Leadership Brief, I'm going to give you a little nugget that is going to make your meetings much more efficient. And it's nothing new, but it's something that is often forgotten because it's a little piece of Robert's Rules of Order that is really, really worth hanging on to. And it's this. It's the idea that discussion doesn't open on any agenda item until there's been a motion and a second. And there's extremely good reason for that. Because if there's not someone who wants to make a motion, that we take some action, and somebody else who wants to second it, well, then there's no reason to waste time talking about it. I know we've all seen meetings where we spend extended periods of time spinning in circles, talking about one subject or another, only to take no action or to hold a vote and decide that it's not what we wanted to move forward with, or to not even get to a vote. So some might ask, well, what about if you don't know enough about it to be able to make a second, and so therefore it doesn't get to the debate, the discussion? Well, that is on the person who is bringing the motion, because the chair can allow the person making the motion to give a little, just a little introduction, a little bit more detail, a little bit of information, the amount of information that's necessary for someone else at the table to be able to say, okay, I think that's worth discussing. And that leads us to another common misconception about this. Just because you've made a motion, or just because you've seconded that motion, doesn't mean that you've obligated yourself to vote in favor of the action, vote in favor of the item. You can still vote nay when it finally comes to a vote. All you're saying with the motion and the second is that it's worthy of discussion. And once you have that motion and the second now, it doesn't mean we move right to the vote. It means now the floor is open and now we can start talking about it. Understand that what I'm not doing here is I'm not suggesting that you need to fully adopt Robert's Rules of Order in their entirety for every meeting you run. What I am suggesting is that Robert's Rules of Order was created to solve some age-old problems with meetings. And they actually can do it quite well. And therefore, there are some nuggets from Robert's Rules of Order that it is absolutely worth knowing, understanding, and keeping around. So that's your leadership brief lesson for today. That before you allow discussion of some item in your meeting that you're running, call for a motion and a second. If there's no motion, or there's a motion but there's no second, then you don't move forward with the discussion, because there clearly are not enough people around the table who want to take action. And then you move on to the next item on the agenda. You run the meeting on schedule, you run an efficient meeting, people are happier, and your team, your organization is more productive. Thanks for listening to the School Leadership Brief. Today, Monday, March 2nd, 2026.